recently I came across with this story that I've been telling. There was a business executive who was having a very difficult time with his business. It was going down and thinking about filing Chapter 11 and so forth. And then he decided to go to a park and he sat on a park bench, his face in his hands, sitting down there and stressed. At that time, an old man came and sat next to him and said, son, looks like you have some problem. Can I help? And so he started pouring all his beans to this person, telling him about all his trouble and so on. And then the old man listened and said oh, looks like I can help. I can give you help. So he pulled out a checkbook and wrote a check and gave it to him and said okay, this should be something that can help you a little bit. And so in exactly 1 year, come back to this same bench, same park, and then you can pay me back at that time. So he left. And then he opened the check and it was for $500,000. And I won't tell you which bench. I want to get there first. And then he looked at the check and it was signed John D. Rockefeller. It's wow. So he was so happy, and then he got so much encouragement from that, and he went back and worked on his business. It turned around. Everything went well. So he didn't have to use it, but he had the cushion of that money, And then exactly 1 year after, he came back to that bench and with the check, same check, and he didn't use it. He didn't have to use it. And then the old man came and sat next to him. And before he could hand over the check, a nurse was running towards them. Nurse was running and saying, oh, thank God I found you. And she looked at this other business person and said, I hope he's not been bothering you. And they said, no, not at all. And then she told him, he keeps running away from his rest home and keeps telling people he's a Rockefeller. So I'm not saying my teacher was like that, so to speak, but we all need some kind of support, a friend, a kindness, a wisdom that can actually help us to move through difficult times. And so for me, it was surely my friend, my spiritual friend, who has been exceptionally helpful.